Darnell with NuWave Oven Recipes here. I'm going to show you how to do beef short ribs. That's a beef rib plate. That's the part of the cow that comes from the plate on the NuWave oven. So this is the night before, because to make some good beef ribs you start the night before. And I'm going to show you what I'm going to do the night before, and I'm going to show you how I cook them up tomorrow in the NuWave oven. So let's get started with that prep of these beef short ribs now. So you'll know how to do some beef short ribs yourself in the NuWave oven. Okay, so here's my beef short ribs from a local meat shop and butcher here in my area. So basically I'm going to get these unwrapped, get them into the pan here, and then I'm going to show you how I basically prep these. The first thing I would do is check these for any membrane on the back. My butcher has graciously already removed that, so I don't have to worry about sticking a knife under part of the little membrane flap and pulling that off. But if you have any membrane on your ribs, you just stick a knife under part of it, get some napkins and pull and rip it right off. But we're able to move on from that. Now I wanted to show you, as far as ingredients, I've got some black pepper that I'll be fresh grinding, and I've got some special hickory smoked salt here. I want to give you a good look at that. This is some good stuff because it's salt that's already been hickory smoked, so it'll add some hint of hickory smoke flavor into the beef ribs while they're cooking on the NuWave oven. So we'll be using some of that. What I want to do now, I'm going to remove some of this top fat, and after I remove some of this top fat, then I'll be putting some of my seasonings on there. Alright, I've got most of that top fat off. I'm just kind of scoring through some of what's left a little bit. There's a little bit of what looks like silver skin there, but I don't think that's going to cause too much trouble. Well, no, silver skin is never really a friend of the cook, that shiny part there. Sometimes that's hard to chew through, but I'm going to go ahead and cook with that anyway. I don't think it's going to be that bad, or at least I'm praying it won't be. So I just don't want to overcook down into the meat. So going to get myself a fresh set of gloves while I put my seasonings on. Got myself some fresh gloves now. Gonna have to try and do kind of a dirty hand, clean hand thing with this. Kind of try to keep one hand clean and get the mess of whatever on the other hand. So we'll see how I do with that. I'm going to just take some of this salt, try and sprinkle it around. I'm going to go ahead and just grind myself in some black pepper on here now. Now I'm going to flip this beef rib plate over, set it like that right there. Going to sprinkle some of my smoked salt all over it. Trying to get some on the sides here. Now I'm going to put myself some of my fresh cracked black pepper on there. I gotta tell you, that salt gives a real nice smoky flavor. Alright, got this seasoned up the way I want it. So now I'm just gonna cover this up, put it in the refrigerator overnight, bring it back tomorrow when I start prepping start cooking these ribs over there in the NuWave oven. So I'll see you tomorrow. Okay, it's the next day, and so the beef ribs have been setting out for about an hour. I had them in the refrigerator overnight, and they've been setting out for about an hour because you want them to not go on totally refrigerator cold. You want them to have warmed up a good bit before you put them on to cook. So I'm going to go ahead and put them into the NuWave oven now. Sit there right there. Notice I'm using that low 1-inch rack. You want to use the lower rack for this one. So I'm going to get my gloves off here and get that lid back on. So Now that I've got them in there, I'm going to do a time cook of 5 hours. May take 5, may take less. Never know, may take more, but we'll get to that further into this cook. For right now, doing 5 hours, I'm going to do a power level of 6. This is one where I will not be using the highest heat temperature. I'm doing power level 6 or P60. That's 250 degrees Fahrenheit. You want to cook these at a slower, lower temperature. You cook them too hot, too fast, your meat's going to be really tough and you won't like that. So I'm going to start this now, but I'm going to come back in maybe an hour or so, and I'll be checking on these maybe about every hour or so and doing some things further into this cook. So keep viewing, and we're going to start now. Okay, 1 hour has passed, so I'm going to hit the pause button. If I can get it pressed. I take my glove off, press the pause button. Alright, I'll get my glove back on real quick so I can get this thing open. Alright, that's after just 1 hour. Things are still cooking there though. I'm going to flip it over. Now that I've got that flip, let me get my gloves off. Now that I got my gloves off, just going to spritz the beef ribs with some beef broth. Let me adjust my sprayer there. There we go. Got a nice spray now. Just spritz them down with some beef broth on that side there. I'm going to let them continue to cook for about another hour. And I'll bring you back in about another hour. We'll see how things look. Okay, 2 hours have passed. I'm going to pause it now. Get my gloves on here. Now I'm going to get it open. We're getting a lot of pullback from the bone now. It's just been a couple of hours. Let's flip it over. I'm going to go ahead and stick my iGrill 2 meat probe in here. Get a temperature reading. And so our meat is going up in temperature. It's at 102, 111, 121, 130. Still moving up. We'll see if it gets over 195 or not at this point. And I don't think it's going to. It's slowing up a little. And let's see if it goes. It's still going. It's slowing up a good bit. 180. Wow. It's getting real close. Getting really, really close. It's at 182, 183. I'm going to give this, I'm going to go get my spritzer and spritz it real quick. Get them nice and spritzed down there. I'm going to put the lid back on. I'm going to let these run for maybe another 30 minutes or so. Just hit the start button. Give them about another 30 minutes and then bring them back, and you might have to temperature test them again because these look like they're going to be done really early. Alright, about 35 minutes have passed. I'm going to hit pause here. I'm going to get my gloves on. We're going to see what we're working with in there. Alright. Looking good in there. Gonna get my, sorry about that noise, get my meat probe back in here, test that temp again. And our temperature is moving on up. It's up over 100 and rising, going pretty rapidly. Still moving on up. Up to 170, still moving. We're almost done. Will it make it? It looks like it's getting close. We're getting some beeping and such. 194, one more, and we're there. 195. So we're good and done. We made it. In 2.5 hours, finished beef ribs. Going to turn this off. It's showing 198 as the final temperature. 199 is our final temperature, so that's pretty good. Did pretty well with that. I take these beef ribs and move them to my cutting board. Alright. So here we have our, let's move this over a little more. Here we have our completed beef short ribs in just 2.5 hours from the NuWave oven. Go ahead and do that first slice. I'm going to slice them right here. Hit a little piece of bone there. And get that cutting through a little bone. But we can see our beef short ribs look good. You can really just slide that bone right out of there. I mean, that pretty much slides right off. So just want to show you the doneness inside. Give you a good close look. It's a good deal. Alright, so I got myself a plate. I'm just going to, well, I guess this one I can do a taste test on. Just plate that with the bone and all. So going to get the camera adjusted around and we'll do our taste testing of these beef short ribs from the NuWave oven in just 2.5 hours. And before I bite into the beef, I'm just going to give the meat a little time to just rest. I did slice through the rest of the bones here just to separate them by the bone. So I'll just let this rest a little while and then we'll do the taste test. It's better to let that meat just rest a little bit after cooking so those juices can reabsorb good. So bring you back for a taste test in just a moment. Alright, just wanted to give that meat a little time to rest. So here's our beef short ribs from the NuWave oven. Smell good, look good, let's taste. It's pretty good beef rib. So this is how you do beef ribs from the NuWave oven. And so you can try it too. You can share this video with your friends, let them check it out so they can try it too. Also, if you like the video, give it a thumbs up. You can also subscribe to the channel. I'm also on the internet on superwaveovenrecipes.com. This and other great recipes are there at superwaveovenrecipes.com. On Twitter at Wave Oven Recipes. And so definitely hope you enjoyed this. And just so you can see, inside where the bite was. So hope you did like it, and good eating.